Most people think the truck drivers spend their nights in cheap roadside motels. But here's the truth. Many of them never check into a hotel at all. Not for days, not for weeks, sometimes not for even months. Instead, they eat, sleep, shower, shave, and yes, even use the bathroom inside a space that's smaller than most people's walk-in closets. And they do it while parked next to a highway in the middle of nowhere at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, you might be thinking, okay, it's probably just a mattress behind the seat and a prayer. But let me tell you, some of these trucks have refrigerators, microwaves, climate control, flat screen TVs, private showers, and beds that drivers say are more comfortable than the one they have at home. In this video, I'm going to answer every question you didn't know you had about life inside a truck. So, how do they sleep when there's a diesel engine running 10 feet from their head? How do they shower when they're 600 miles from the nearest city? Where exactly do they go to the bathroom at 3 in the morning in a truck stop parking lot? And what do they actually eat? Because it's probably not what you think. Let's start with the most important question of all. Why do they live in their truck in the first place? In the US alone, there are around 3.5 million truck drivers, and a significant portion of them are what's called OTR drivers, or over the road. Now, these aren't the guys making local deliveries and sleeping in their own bed every night. OTR drivers take the long hauls, the runs across state lines, sometimes multiple state lines, even all the way across the country from California to New York City. Trips that can cover 3, 4, 5,000 miles before they're even done. And they don't come home after each run. They stay out, sometimes for weeks at a time or even longer. Now think about that for a second. If you had to stay in a hotel every single night on the road, what would that cost you? The average truck stop motel room runs between $80 and $100, maybe $120 a night. Multiply that by 20 nights a month. That's anywhere from $1,600 to $2,400 every single month just on hotels. That's nearly $30,000 a year just to sleep. So it doesn't take long to figure out that living in the truck isn't just convenient. It's the only thing that actually makes financial sense. But here's what most people don't realize. The average OTR driver spends around 200 nights a year away from home. That means that many of them spend more nights inside their truck than in their own bedroom. Their truck isn't just a vehicle. It's where they decompress after a 10-hour drive. It's where they call their kids and the rest of their family and say goodnight to tuck them in. It's where they wake up and do it all over again. It's home. And like any home, first thing you need to figure out is where you're going to sleep. Here's something most people never even think about. Falling asleep in a truck stop parking lot is nothing like falling asleep in a quiet bedroom. Now picture this. You've just driven 10 hours straight. Your back is stiff, your eyes are tired, and all you want to do is close them. But outside your window, there are 50 other trucks, all of them running their engines, all of them humming, rattling, and vibrating at the exact same frequency that makes it impossible to relax. Welcome to bedtime on the road. The noise is the number one complaint among new truck drivers. It's not the loneliness, it's not the food, it's the constant, relentless sound of diesel engines that never really fully goes away. So how do they deal with it? Well, first, modern sleeper cabs are surprisingly well insulated. The walls are thicker, the windows are double layered, and nearly every driver has blackout curtains that seal off the bunk completely. Once those curtains close, the cab becomes its own little world. Then there's the temperature. Because sleeping in a truck isn't just uncomfortable when it's loud, it's dangerous when it's cold. In winter, temperatures inside an unpowered cab can drop fast. And this is where something called an APU comes in. It's an auxiliary power unit, a small generator that runs independently from the main engine, keeping the heat on, the lights running, and the bunk at a comfortable temperature, without burning through a full tank of diesel overnight. And if you've ever seen our video about trucking at minus 40 degrees Celsius, you already know that staying warm isn't just about comfort. At those temperatures, it's about survival. Now, here's something that might actually surprise you. Studies and driver surveys consistently show that many OTR truck drivers report sleeping better in their cab than they do at home. The routine is the same every night. The space is familiar. There are no kids running down the hallway, no dog jumping on the bed. Just the curtains, the hum of the APU, and 8 hours before the next run. Because in the US, there are very strict rules about rest. The hours of service regulations require a driver to take a minimum of 10 hours off duty before driving again. So rest isn't just optional, it's the law. But not all sleeping setups are created equal, because some truck drivers aren't just sleeping in the cab, they're sleeping in something that costs more than most people's houses. Most people picture a truck sleeper as a small box behind the driver's seat, maybe a thin mattress with a tiny pillow, enough room to lie down if you don't move too much. And for a lot of trucks, that's fairly accurate. But then there's the other end of the spectrum. Companies like ARI Legacy Sleepers, Bolt Custom Trucks, and ICT Sleepers build custom sleeper cabs that are, frankly, embarrassing to compare to the average studio apartment. We're talking full-size beds, not bunk beds, not fold-out cots, actual queen-size mattresses with real bedding. We're talking built-in cabinetry, LED lighting, hardwood floors, flat-screen TVs mounted to the wall, climate systems with individual controls. Some even have their own onboard shower tucked into a corner with a glass door and proper water pressure. One ARI Legacy build features a full kitchen, a lounge area, and a bathroom inside a truck. And the price tag? Well, entry-level custom sleepers start at around $150,000. Mid-range builds sit between $200,000 and $300,000, and the top-end, fully custom built-to-order rigs, some go for $500,000. A few have even crossed $600,000. To put that into perspective, the median home price in the United States is around $400,000. Some drivers are literally living in something worth more than the average American house. Except theirs has a diesel engine and can do 70 miles an hour on the interstate. Is it excessive? Maybe. But when your truck is your home for 10 months out of the year, the line between vehicle and living space stops making a lot of sense. Speaking of living space, there's one part of truck life that nobody really talks about, and it might be the most impressive logistical challenge of all. Let's address that question that everyone is thinking about, but nobody wants to ask first. Where in the heck do truck drivers go to the bathroom? It's a fair question, and the answer is more organized than you'd expect. For most OTR drivers, the primary solution is the truck stop. Major chains like Pilot, Flying J, and Love's, and TA, Travel Centers of America, are essentially small cities built specifically for truck drivers. They have restaurants, fuel stations, parking, laundry facilities, and yes, full bathroom facilities available around the clock. But truck stops aren't always conveniently located when nature calls at 2 a.m. in the middle of Wyoming. So some drivers keep a portable toilet in the cab. Simple, practical, and exactly as glamorous as it sounds. And then there are the custom sleepers we just talked about. Several high-end builds include a proper onboard toilet, small, compact, but functional. Because when you're spending $500,000 on a truck, you probably don't want to be walking across a dark parking lot at 3 in the morning for a pee. Now let's talk about showers, because this is where this actually gets pretty darn impressive. Most major truck stops offer private shower rooms. And we're not talking about a curtain and a drain in the corner. These are actual private rooms with a sink and a toilet, a full shower, clean towels, and a lock on the door. Pilot and Flying J operate a reward system called My Rewards Plus. Drivers can earn shower credits every time they fuel up. Buy enough diesel and your shower is completely free. Given that a single truck can burn through hundreds of gallons of fuel per week, most professional drivers never actually pay for a shower. Some drivers joke that they take better showers on the road than they do at home. And honestly, given that these rooms are cleaned between every single use, they might not be wrong. The higher-end sleeper cabs, of course, skip the truck stop entirely. Built-in onboard showers mean drivers never have to leave the vehicle at all, which, when you think about it, is either incredibly convenient or slightly concerning, depending on how much you value human interaction. Either way, after a long day and a hot shower, there's one thing left: dinner. And here's what most people picture when they think about a truck driver and what he eats. Greasy burgers from a truck stop diner, a gas station hot dogs that's been rotating since Tuesday, and a bag of chips and an energy drink for dinner. And look, that does exist. Nobody's pretending it doesn't. But the reality for a large number of OTR drivers is completely different. Many of them cook. Not metaphorically, not heat something up in a microwave. They actually cook full meals inside their cab, parked in a truck stop lot somewhere in the middle of America. Because, listen to this, here's the math. Eating at a truck stop every single day adds up fast. A basic meal at a truck stop diner runs anywhere from $12 to $18. 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, that's somewhere between $250 and $375 every single week just on food. Over a month on the road, that's easily $1,500 gone on meals alone. So, drivers started getting creative. Modern sleeper cabs are surprisingly well equipped for cooking. Most have a 12-volt refrigerator that runs off the truck's electrical system, keeping food fresh for days. Many drivers add a microwave, a portable induction cooktop, or a compact air fryer. Some even cook outside the cab entirely, a portable propane grill, a folding table, and suddenly a truck stop parking lot becomes a pretty decent outdoor kitchen at sunset, somewhere in Nevada, which honestly sounds better than most dinner plans. The drivers who last on the road long term aren't just good at driving, they're good at building a life inside a very small space. They figure out the sleep, they figure out the hygiene, they figure out the food. They turn a truck into something that actually works for them. And that brings us to the part that ties all of this together. To most people, a truck is just something they move over for on the highway. But for the driver behind that wheel, it's something else entirely. It's where they sleep, where they eat, where they shower, where they call home sometimes for weeks without a break. It's a bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, and an office all in one. All moving at 70 miles an hour down the interstate. And honestly, most of them wouldn't trade it for the world. Now I want to hear from you. If you're a truck driver, what's the one thing about life on the road that most people would never guess? Drop it in the comments. I do read every single one. And if you've never driven a truck in your life, what surprised you the most about this video? Every comment helps more people discover the world of trucking, so if you've learned something today, hit like and subscribe to the channel, please. There's a whole lot more where this came from. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the road.